Hey, what's up, guys? It was Tuesday the 16th, and I missed Friday entirely. I can begin to tell you how last Friday I started that morning, got up with the plan. The plan went completely to hell by 6 a.m., right? My calendar is 100% scheduled by other people. Now, Samantha and I got Chloe working my calendar, taking my emails, setting me up every day. And damn it, if it just didn't get out of hand. And I got to the end of the day, I'm like, damn, today was Friday. So I missed it. You guys didn't get anything from me. I didn't honor my commitment. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna keep up on that one. This week gonna be out of town. 25th wedding anniversary, 25 years. Me and my wife Rizzo. Been an amazing ride. In many ways, great lessons learned in life. And what it does is I get to see the more we age, the more time we spend around each other. I get to understand when you see older couples talk about how their spouse becomes more attractive over time. I get that. I get why they can say what they do about the other, and the love that continues to grow between them, just because, man, when you share that much experience and you got that much water under the bridge and you have hurt each other and helped each other and done all these things together, there's a bond that forms that just cannot be, it can't be duplicated in any other way. So I just want to wish my Rizzo a happy anniversary tomorrow. I'm not going to be on tomorrow, but I'm wishing it to her now. 25 years. Thank you for participating in all this with me for the last 25 years. We've known each other a little bit more than that. But so on to another thing. So a podcast was released yesterday with me as the guest, and uh, Rizzo and I were together last night, and I popped it on to listen to it. I couldn't remember that particular one, so I looked back at the dates. And I remember around the time frame this was, and the host started to give a disclaimer, which I thought was interesting. It's a parental advisory, if you will, about his guest. He said the first time he's ever had to do that. I'm like, wow, okay, we got to listen to this one, and we listened to it, and I got to tell you, it gave me after listening to that, it really kind of gave me the strength. It's like, I'm calling out an asshole today. I'm going to reach out there. I'm going to call this person forward publicly and say, you're an asshole. The guy I'm talking to is me. I went back and I looked around the time that I did that podcast was right around the same time I was dealing with some folks on some deals that were completely irrational. And because of that, in that situation, I named some situations within this podcast from the past, right? Way back early in I think this was 2000, probably 13, was I was talking about a specific situation. People bought this house, and instead of actually closing on it, they moved in and moved stuff around, and they didn't even qualify. It forced me through hell to get that deal done. Right. It was amazing hell. And I caught hell from everybody because I wasn't getting done fast enough, but they never qualified before they forced themselves in this house and put everybody at risk. Right. I explained that. Well, then actually middle of last year or late last year, I was dealing with some folks on a deal where I painted exactly what this deal was going to go like, what we were experiencing when it came to the turn times because of third parties. In that particular area, that specific area, I couldn't get an appraiser into a house in less than 4 weeks. It was impossible. And boy, I mean, we up front, they told me how I was wrong or whatever. I said, guys, this is how it's going to go. We're going to do our best. We're going to report in, but it's how it's going to go. And even towards the end of that deal, we caught hell because we didn't honor the contract and we didn't keep up the contract. And I really caught all kinds of hell of it. So I let that get the best of me. So if you go backwards to a few of these episodes here, or whatever you want to call these things that I'm doing here, I referenced a quote that my dad talked about where, offense is taken when offense was not intended, you're a fool. But if you take offense when offense was intended, you're a greater fool. So Aaron being the fool, I spouted off around that same time on this podcast, and I labeled a lot of people, a lot of very good people, with something that was being caused by a few. So I'll just tell you, that is where I do not agree with what I was saying, because I was labeling people. Now, the individuals, I'll still say that they were irrational. I'll still say I 100% disagree with how they handle their business, and I did not enjoy dealing with them, nor will I ever enjoy dealing with them again. I don't think we touched them since. So yeah, we need to be cognizant of who we want to work with and who we don't want to work with, but to overgeneralize is wrong. Some very great people out there that are in that industry. My mom, Chapman, Rosenbaum Realty, phenomenal realtor. She works her guts out for her clients. This gal by name Callin, both her and my mother, during the time that I had my accident in 2008, I had memory problems, man. I couldn't remember past 3 minutes. And I hope she's okay with me pointing this out here, but she would call me back every time she'd give me a referral and ask me, did you write that down? Make me write it down, call that person. She was patient. The two of them worked together as part of the rehab process, as well as many others, to help me to rehab my brain, to reconnect those circuits that were lost, to have that memory back. So I now have that short-term memory back. A lot of awesome people I work with across the country that hold licenses because they're in the real estate space. They hold licenses. They're very good people, awesome to work with. If they work with me, it's because I enjoy working with them and they're great people to work with. Doesn't mean I only work, it doesn't mean I haven't worked with others there or have failed to work with other great people. I just may not know them yet. But I've painted an entire group of people wrong because of the actions of another. And that right there, for me, I was wrong. So I'm just admitting me being an asshole. And I think if we would pay better attention to ourselves and where we're wrong, it would probably change the dynamic of all of this, our interaction altogether. Find that basis to do business together. How do we interact in that situation? No, all situations have changes. We can't paint one transaction like, well, we used to close loans in 30 days or get transactions closed in 30 days. We should do it now. We were doing that back when we had no income, no asset loans, 30-day deals. Why is it in the day of today that we're still under the impression that every single transaction should go that way, and then come hell or high water, we're going to raise hell, drive people nuts, talk crap about them on social media? Amazing to me. And I failed there too. I put it out there in a format and painted a whole group with my prejudice, and that was wrong. I shouldn't even have a prejudice in that respect against people in an industry. I should have, we should be people on people, dealing with each other. That's my fault. I was the asshole there, just letting you guys know. But so let's get into the markets here. So my apologies if you listen to that podcast and you say, okay, yeah, he's an asshole, but he admitted to it. So do with it as you will. This is for you to now judge how to handle that situation. I can't control you. I can only control me. And I'm looking to do a better job at how I control me. Just saying that. Market. Wow. Look at the red in here. This is not good stuff. We don't enjoy all this red. Right, this is the 3% coupon. We got into a peak, but we came back down. We settled back into a channel. We're not far off a channel we've been in for a very long time, right? So it's not like we're still on upward trend. All the trend lines are up, but we're below some of the other key trend lines. But we're also still in an area of support. Our interest rates we priced today still within everything we've been quoting. So I'm not seeing massive movement. Now, the other thing of it is I have strategically quoted from my more expensive sources during the quote period, and then, of course, lock at my more cheaper sources during the lock period. But it's kind of ridiculous when you look at the market and understand what's going on here. Last week was only bond friendly. Even the Fed chairman, Jerome Powell, when he testified to Congress, he even testified again, they need to keep rates low, essentially offering what I've heard analysts say, bond buyers a free put. But we yet still fallen, still took a little bit of a header last week. There's got to be some sort of catalyst that will reverse this. Not 100% certain of what will, but the bottom line is I am strategically doing my pricing, my quotes in a way to protect people from doing their numbers at their lowest point. And then when it comes to lock period, if it's higher, then all of a sudden their numbers are thrown off to the negative. There's a reason I do what I do. I've been doing this for 23 years, since 1997. I do things strategically because I've interacted with thousands of people. I know how they think. I know how they work. By that alone, you'd think that I had my head out of my ass during that damn podcast and not spout off as much as I did. But if anything, gives you a reason to go listen to it, right? But one, I appreciate you guys always being here, listening, allowing me to spout off about me and the stupidity that I engaged in. And think about that. Decide how you want to interact with others. Don't let people take control of your headspace. Don't let people control your narrative. You control the narrative. I allowed the actions of others control my thinking, control my narrative, and paint things incorrectly. For that, I apologize that I did not have control over me. Does it change my ideas on how they were acting, how they're going about business? No, because I don't think they handled their business right. But I didn't handle mine right. So back at us both. Appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon.